Welcome to our summer Games Done Quick 2023 VOD submission. We're doing Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer. I'll talk about the settings in a bit. Today we're having a three-way race between Heavings, the RPG chick, and Extend Power. And I warn you, if you blink, you're gonna miss the item pickups. So I'm gonna count everyone down at the count of 0, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And with that, everyone's off. Let's see. So the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer has a lot of settings, and if you haven't watched it before, it's basically the base game currently with all the brown boxes in the game, as well as the red boxes in the game, as well as items given by NPCs that have been shuffled together. So the locations of the boxes are actually the same, but whether it's actually a brown box or a red box, and red box containing the items, that's been changed. That means that the racers are going to have to go all over the map to figure out, hey, where is the item that I need for progression? So we're starting with the Battle Axe, and I see we get a Charm Claw right off the bat, giving us access to cutting down trees and climbing up and down walls. That will be important later on. There's a couple other things that these settings have selected, which is the way to beat this seed is to actually save the crystals, and by that we mean have to beat all the big monsters to get the crystals, and then beat the Dark King, which is normally the final boss. We also have modes that you can select all the just to beat the final boss, but to keep it interesting and to show off more of the game, we've gone for Steal the Crystals. We've removed about half of the enemies. I believe that, yeah, they're shuffled throughout the map, so that means that sometimes the way is very much blocked by monsters, sometimes it's very clear. And the enemy stat scaling is they randomize between 50% and 150% of their original values, on top of which their attacks have been randomized, so monsters don't do their normal attacks. So far, I see we've picked up a crest, and I think we're still looking for the sand coin. In talking about this, I haven't been keeping that much attention. But we need the sand coin to move on beyond the focus tower where X10 is going right now. And Heavings. Oh, I guess, okay, so everyone picked up the river coin. Let me just mark that. And let's see if I missed anything else quickly. So I missed a ring, and I think it's the Venus shield, the Noble shield, which is gonna give everyone a bit of status ailment protection. So since we don't have the bombs, the Venus shield, that's it, yeah, the bombs, the players cannot progress beyond the bone dungeon where we just were. And we're off to Fireburg with a better companion, at least someone who can actually deal some proper damage and doesn't die immediately. And we're probably going to be checking out either the mine, although we don't have the bombs, or the lava dome, or the battlefields nearby. We've got, oh yeah, so one other thing that we randomized is the NPCs. There are 3 NPCs in this game which sell items, and usually they're just armor upgrades, but they can actually be selling either like consumables or weapons and armor or progression items. So I saw Heavings pick up a bomb, which means that the mine, it would actually be completely almost completely completable. There's a check at the end. So for each area, when you pick up a companion, there's an extra check that if you go to a certain place with that companion in hand, you get another item. So for Tristan, it's the bone dungeon just in front of the bombable wall. For Ruben, it's the mine with the mega grenades to free up Ruben's dad. And for Phoebe 1, it's going to Wintry Cave on top of the climbable wall where you normally get your cat claw. Oh no, RPG Chick got stuck and had to restart the game, it seems. Sometimes that happens because with the enemy randomizer, you can get into enemy patterns that have such strong attacks you just cannot win. It's one of the risks that you run without saving too much. I'm guessing X10 Power also had the same because he's also restart. He's also back at the bone dungeon. So let's see if Hebbings is gone again. I did miss exactly where that happened. Oh yeah. Thanks, chat, for filling us in. I'm trying to do the tracking mostly by myself, and Adam, thank you so much for chiming in there. But trying to figure out on 3 streams at the same time what's happening. As I said before, you blink and it's gone. So Hebbings is now going to... Okay, so the giant axe is from Tristan. So I'm guessing Hebbings has the giant axe as well then. Mark that off. So the mine, even without the mega grenades, there's a couple of checks in here, especially with the brown box shuffle. Normally you only have like, I think it's 2 red chests and the item you get from Ruben, but because we're doing brown box shuffle, we actually have a lot more opportunities. I think something like 4 plus, something like 7 or 8 checks that are in this location. And in the meantime, the RPG Chick and X10 Power are, basically backtracking to where they were. Luckily, they were pretty early into the seed, and hopefully they'll hit save more often to prevent further resets. Oh, I'm sorry. I should probably not mess with the tracker. So at this point, the options that the players have is either go back to Bone Dungeon and try to see if they can get more checks there. Continue on to Volcano and Lava Dome. At least for insofar they haven't done Lava Dome yet. And basically hope for progression items such as the Sun Coin or gonna need all the coins in the end, or maybe one of the crests to use a warp between the cities. Oh, but to what they also need the gold key, I think it's called, to unlock. Well, no, if they want to go to Windia, you could use the crest. So, having decided to not continue on fighting against the genie, luckily he did save so we could get out of there. Most of the time players try to avoid the Lava Dome as much as possible because it's a very long dungeon. So Ice Pyramid and Lava Dome are very long dungeons, and if you don't have Brundtland Shuffle on, there's only a couple checks there, and you need to spend about 10 minutes each at least to get through the dungeons. Not to say that the Lava Dome has a lot of strong enemies as well. But because of the Brundtland Shuffle, it's a little bit better. But still, it's a dungeon where you have to go through so many enemies and back and forth between the maps so much that the question really becomes, do players want to do this check right now? Or do they want to go for easier maps like Bone Dungeon? Personally, I would have gone back to Bone Dungeon just to make sure I didn't miss any possible progression. I saw Huddings pick up the Cupid Locket. That's a good thing. That's, I believe it was Confusion. Oh, that's the Mega Grenade. That's a good find as well. There's another status ailment protection that will come in handy with the Dark King at the end of the seed, where the Dark King's got a couple of nasty attacks, usually, such as Petrify, Confusion. I don't think it has Sleep, but usually by then you have Sleep protection, so I don't know for sure that. Then again, we do have Attack Randomizer, so we don't quite know yet which attacks the Dark King will have. So it might actually be a very, very easy Dark King, aside from the HP that he usually rules. A couple of things that the randomizer changed in comparison to the base game is, well, you can see that Benjamin is walking much faster on the overworld than he regularly would. That's just a quality of life change. But another thing is the HP overflow glitch for Dark King has been disabled. So you're actually forced to have a proper battle with him rather than just cast Cure or Life on him and then win the game by default. So in that sense, it's slightly tougher on the runners. Then again, these runners are experienced enough to know what they're doing. Level up Benjamin at least a bit and gather the right spells to survive him. So the RPG chick is now also fighting Genie again. Huddings going back with the Mega Grenades. I'm guessing he's going to go to Bone Dungeon this time. Arrow, one of this. I mean, Arrow is a good attack spell if you don't have any wizard spells. So Final Fantasy Mystic Quest has two different types of attack spells, and each of them has a maximum number of uses before. I mean, you have to use either a seed or go to an inn to reset that counter. Arrow is one of the stronger ones of the first type of attack, but like the regular attack magic. But what we really want to see is either Meteor or White. And yeah, absolutely, the seed, it seems like it's sending people all over and throwing some bad enemies their way. But hey, it does make for a good viewing, right? Where, if you just go to the end, that would be rather boring, so... Oh, did I miss Flare? Is Flare picked up? What the brown box shuffle also does, and you'll notice that the runners will make a couple of detours that you would normally not do in the base game, is you actually have to go to a couple of very obscure places just to make sure that you're not missing a chest. One of the chests... okay, so RPG took out. One of the chests that sometimes gets missed is the one in Wintry Cave, where if you don't walk up high enough near to the entrance, you don't see the chest, so you might completely miss it. Which has led in a previous race to someone just not getting first, even though he was first, due to missing a key progression with it. And Heavings has just beat the first big boss for the first crystal. That means that there are 3 more to go out of 4 total before they can fight against Dark King. And there's the sand coin, of course. So the way in the seed, the way the seed wanted you to go first was, I think, go to Bone Cave to get the river coin, go to, where was it? I think it was Volcano where the bomb was, or the mine where mega grenades were, I think, to get to go back to Bone Dungeon to get the sand coin. Now they can go to Aquaria and pick up Phoebe. Go to Witchery Cave. Yeah, this seed is a thing. So RPG Chick has opted to go to Bone Dungeon before getting the mega grenades. She will have to go back to I don't know if we actually need Mega Grenade yet, if it's blocking any progression item. And I saw Hebbings pick up the Aegis Shield, which protects against Petrify, I think. So that's a good thing as well, a bit more protection. But we'll see if Mega Grenades are actually necessary, or that the players can just continue without having it picked up. So at this point the question becomes, is Extend Power going to try a couple more times, or is he also going for just leaving Jin for now and hoping to find some items later, like Heavens with his Aegis Shield and the Flare for RPG Chick, just to have an easier battle. It's moments like these where, when you're already behind, having been forced to do a reset, even if it's early on in the game. Do you want to push on and get some, hopefully, progression, or do you leave it with the chance of having to go back later? So there's the Thunder Rock in Aquaria, which is necessary to go to the Zeus's Tower and get that crystal. RPG Chick seems to have a bit of connection problems. So far, the Sun Coin was in Wintry Cave, it seems. Well, it says commercial break. Is it a commercial break, or is it connectivity problems? I never quite know. And X10 also picking up that flare, getting a useless steel shield for having persevered against Jin. So far, item-wise, it seems Heavings is in the lead. He didn't have to reset, that definitely helped. but we don't know what the randomizer is going to throw at our runners. So the game is still up in the air as far as I'm concerned. We're still missing. Let's see, what are we missing? Well, we're missing the Sky Coin for sure. That enables access to the Bourgeois and then the Dark King. Some extra, a helmet or some extra armor would be nice, but not mandatory. I think as far as go mode, we're basically missing the Sky Coin for Heavings. Oh, there's the Mobius crest. Let me check if we need the Mobius crest. So, yeah, we've got the Doom Castle shortcut enabled. So we don't need to actually unlock the max ship and use that mode of transportation to the Focus Tower lower entry. To speed up the game and to make it a bit more interesting, we actually have an option to enable that shortcut, which allows us, I think you need the Dragon Claw or the Mega Grenades to enter the Dark Focus Tower then, which Heavings both has. Interesting, is he picking up Tristan to get Ruben too, or is he actually going to continue with Tristan to beat? Oh, I have imagined he would go save Ruben's dad. I don't think, did Heavings save Ruben's dad already? I don't remember. So let me just quickly check if Heavings is using the MG1 pack. Yeah. One of the other things that the randomizer does is it's very much a personal preference. If you want to have different music for the game, there's a couple of MGU packs available for Final Fantasy Mystic Quest that are automatically enabled when you use the randomizer. So that's a nice thing. He's skipping over a live forest. Maybe because he doesn't have Phoebe with him? Kaylee? He has the axe, so he could do a couple checks there, and he has a couple of the crests as well. We'll see if he goes back or if he goes to Pazuzu's tower. The RPG chick is opting to go to Ice Pyramid, which, as I mentioned, is one of the longer dungeons, especially if you don't have the Magic Mirror. So if you have the Magic Mirror, you can see where the enemies are, but if you don't, you get caught up in these encounters where you can run from them, but it does cost some extra seconds every time you encounter one. And X10 is going through Lava Dome. Probably gonna find what was it? Cupid's Locket eventually. Then probably realizing he has to go to Bone Dungeon to get his progression. Assuming that the tracker is up to date. So one of the weird glitches that happens when you open up Spencer's Place without having finished Aquaria, or at least haven't gotten the wake water to deal with Aquaria, is that you're gonna have a frozen lake. And somehow Mac has a ship that is basically an icebreaker. Ah, thank you, Adams, for saving Norma. So we have if you want to compare it to, for example, the Super Metroid speedruns, you can save or kill the animals. We have save or neglect Norma, basically. So is there anything useful in Ice Pyramid, I wonder? Ah, so Heavens has also picked up white somewhere, which is so the only spell I know that no single monster has a resistance against it. And every other attack magic basically has at least one monster that has a resistance. So that's a really good find. That's gonna make a quick work of all the enemies. Ooh, and Heavings. I mean, Phoebe has enough health, but those are the. I guess I was wrong. The moment I talk about white and no enemy having resistance, we encounter an enemy that has a magic shield that reflects all attack magic. He's just showing off the randomizer. That's all he's doing. I'm sure. And so far, I think Ice Pyramid has been a bust for RPG Chick. And X10 is having a little bit of difficulty with the salamanders. It's just one of those moments where you think like, yeah, this is the randomizer. It can be particularly mean. So far, I think RPG Chick has 2 crystals out of 4, and Headings has 1 out of 4. And you know, everyone has to do all the dungeons, at least for the bosses. So we'll see Ice Pyramid end up on the other runners later as well. But looking for progression, it seems like it's either in Pazuzu's Tower or a live forest, which is another dungeon that we have to complete. Seems XN is really struggling with this battle. Oh no, this is a different one. I guess I missed that. Either he reloaded to save and got a new encounter. Man, he's not having a good time. Oh yeah, I did not mention that the battlefields are randomized as well, where there are 3 colors. So black battlefields mean there's experience to be gained as a reward. Green ones are for monetary rewards, and the blue ones are they have an item. Could be a consumable. You better hope it's not a refresher, because that's the most useless item in the game. But it could also be progression. So then the question becomes like, okay, if you have a battlefield where you need to defeat 5 enemies, is that worth the time investment? If you have white or another strong spell, that becomes an easier question. But if you don't, then you need to go through the slog. Heavings having beat his second crystal, so that's 2 crystals for Heavings and the RPG chick, and I believe X10 is on his... Well, I don't know if he's actually gotten sand coins, so I'm not sure if he's got 1 crystal or not. And there's Exit, which is going to be a huge time save for Heavings as well. So he got life and Exit in Pazuzu's Tower, which is not progression, but it's going to help him through the game faster and safer, for sure. So the RPG chick probably gonna finish the mine and get her, what was it? Mega grenades probably, or Volcano Lava Dome, whatever she's going for. She should have the sand coin. That's probably a trending thing where, because she just went to Aquaria. I don't know if she picked up the sun coin. Maybe she's going to pick that up somewhere here. And Hebbing's backtracking as well. Probably gonna finish Lava Dome to get his 3rd crystal. Not sure why he didn't want to do a live forest while he was in the area. Did he maybe forget that there's another crystal there? Or is he gonna route that in? Coincidentally, all 3 runners are at the same location, or at least the same region right now, which is interesting. But at completely different points in progression. That said, because all players now have more levels, better gear, it's a lot easier to progress through this dungeon than it was before. Aside from X10, who is just throwing himself against all the enemies and just hoping that something sticks. But he's managing, so... That's interesting. Using Blizzard to finish off the tortoises. So what the randomizer does is for each stat that an enemy has, and that's basically the same stats as the players have. So that's attack, defense, magic, speed, HP, I think it is. For each of those stats, the randomizer decides, is this stat going to be, for this seed anyway, between 50 and 150% of the original. So you can definitely see that on the adamant turtles, where their HP is incredibly low, but they do, if they attack, I believe they do deal quite a lot of damage. So you get very like fragile cannons, especially with the attack randomizer. So for these settings, we do not shovel in the Dark King attacks, but we have had seeds where we did do that, and even very early on, enemies could have attacks that deal like 2,000 damage, but then they die in one hit. So if you're just fast enough and you kill them before that happens, you can actually beat the battle. Having, I think, picked up Cure and Magic Mirror, Magic Mirror is nice, but it's not going to save a lot of time at this point. Having White and being very strong in general, and having Phoebe with him to basically carry him all the way to the end game. So while there's not much else going on, there is an active Discord community that we have. The randomizer you can find on ffmqrandomizer.com, I want to say? ffmqrando.net, that's it. And the Discord link is on there as well, where we have weekly seeds. We have an active development for some overworld and some floor shuffles that you might recognize from Link to the Past randomizer. But because it's so new, it's still got a couple bugs here and there. If you want to help us squash some bugs, that is definitely welcome. Or if you just want to hang out, get to know the game, that's great. We welcome you with open arms. Thank you, Adam. And that is, I believe, crystal number 3 for Hebbings. And the RPG chick, not too far behind, I believe, with her third crystal bit. That means that Hebbings still has to do Ice Pyramid. Oh, now I understand why you skipped a live forest. Like, all he needs is the Sky Coin to finish the game, and finish off Ice Pyramid to get his 4th crystal to actually be able to fight against the Dark King. So he's probably hoping for getting Sky Coin somewhere along the way, rather than having to scout a live forest for maybe nothing. So that's Gemini crest for the RPG chick as well. Hebbings is all 3 crests. And both X10 and RPG chick are on the... What's his name again? Dual Head Hydra, that's it. So that's, I believe, 2nd crystal for X10. Well, if he's here, then he's also done Bone Dungeon, because you need Sand Coin. And either Sand Coin or Sun Coin to even get here. No, that's not true. That's not true. I'm confusing things again. Has he still not done Bone Dungeon? Oof, he better go there. But we already know that Ice Pyramid, it doesn't hold what Hebbings is looking for. So he's going to have to go on the hunt after this anyway. So really the question is, where is the Sky Coin? So we still have Kaylee, Hebbings does have Wither Tree, so he can unlock Kaylee in Foresta. Oh, and there's Gaia's armor, that's pretty nice as well. So he can unlock Kylie in Foresta to get an item there. I see the RPG chick had picked up the elixir somewhere on the way, which means that's another item when you meet Kylie in Windia. What else? I think Hebbings has already cleaned down basically the entire Fireberg area. And we still need to do Dullahan in... I forgot what the mountain name was. It's in the same region as Windia. And Max Ship. I think he also needs to do Max Ship. So there's still quite a couple locations where the Sky Coin can be. Ah, okay, so Extend does have the Sand Coin, I believe. And picking up his Aegis Shield. Ah, Elixir is in Ice Pyramid. So that means that Hebbings can do Kaylee. So is he going back to Foresta? Is he going to reach his chances in Alive Forest? Or is he going to do these checks in Focus Tower and this temple? Did he just find white again? Was that a bug? I thought Hebbings already had white. Oh, maybe because he had Phoebe in the party, that's right. Ah, so Benjamin also has white, that's it. He's going for it, that's interesting. Do we not need the Sky Coin or did we miss it? Did he forget maybe that he needs the Sky Coin? I'm confused. Oh, he has the Sky Coin. Interesting. Oh, well, in that case, he's very close to the end. Where was the Sky Coin? Yeah, I guess we both missed him having the Sky Coin. I mean, if I had known that, he's probably been in go mode for a while back. Maybe Pazuzu's Tower. So maybe the RPG chick, because this is the last dungeon for RPG chick crystal-wise. And then the question becomes, can she also find the Sky Coin? And if so, she's probably close to go mode as well. Looking at the stream for Extend Power, we've got most of the things tracked correctly there. He will be picking up his sand coin in a bit. Oh! Oh, interesting. Yeah, I never played Save the Crystals myself. I've only played either Boss Rush or Dark King only. So that's probably why both of us missed it. So Having's making quick work of the bosses so far. That means that he's close to Dark King. And it seems that Za also rolled very low on HP, so he's gonna have a pretty easy time here as well. Let's see, I'm guessing... What is X10 looking for? Okay, he's got the 3 coins, so he can actually go to Pazuzu's tower. What's the reason he's not doing? Maybe he's looking for... No, he has the Cupid's Locket and the Aegis Shield, so he's got most of the important armor. Wait, does he still miss Dragon Claw? Is that it? Yeah, he doesn't have Dragon Claw yet. And Havings has made it to the Dark King. Let's see what he has in store for us today. Easy phase 1. Somewhat easy phase 2, but we're now in phase 3 out of 4. I don't think the attacks of the Dark King so far have been pretty difficult to deal with. Oh, well, there's Doom. And Havings does not have Doom protection. I mean, I believe only Tristan 2 has Doom protection, so... Yeah. Good thing that he's got life on Benjamin, so he can revive Phoebe, and Phoebe can revive Havings. Oh, and Petrify. Yeah, yeah. There's actually a chance that Dark King can wipe the party using a Petrify Doom combination. Oh yeah, that's another quirky thing about Final Fantasy Mystic Quest is if Benjamin dies and then gets revived by the companion, and that's when before his normal turn would be, he still has his normal turn. It's hilarious. So we're now in phase 4 of Dark King. It seems like Havix has got this under control. Ah, pesky commercial breaks. Congratulations to Havix. That's the game. Let me see if he wants to go into the broadcast room and talk about what happened with us. Welcome, Havix.
Hey.
That was a seed.
Oh yeah, no, I made a couple questionable decisions, and I thought that I was behind.
I mean, the seed forced you to go to Bone Dungeon, but could not complete it. Go to Firework Region to get some bombs. Go back, get the sand coin, and then oh man, everyone had a particularly difficult time. Especially the RPG chick and Extend Power, sadly having to reset pretty early on because they got stuck in a enemy loop.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Yeah, no, I've gotten a little paranoid with the Randomizer shuffle turned on now, so I safety save in places, and I'm like, I will pick and choose my battles where they lie. So as soon as I saw I only had Reuben 1 going into Lava Dome, and I was gonna have to fight Hydra, I was like, no, I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go check for other goodies. And I was panicking there a little bit at the end because I still didn't have any wizard spells. I knew Meteor was in Windia, but I didn't have anything good. And I guess I just lucked out with that north focus tower check, getting white. Really came in clutch for me there at the end.
Yeah, you got pretty lucky with your route. I would say you spent the least amount of time between the three of you finding goodies. So you got that going.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, and it's one of those things where you have to pick and choose your battles, especially early on, because I mean, I almost got stuck on that Jin fight. If I didn't make a save beforehand, that would have been a headache to beat my head against. And I had to. It's one of those things you kind of have to hedge your bets and make your calls. It's like, okay, do I force my way through this boss fight and I keep pushing through because there's a chance I could beat it, or do I cut my losses and I go and try to find something else? Oh my god, RPG Chick has flare?
Yeah. I forgot exactly where she picked it up, but yeah, she found flare somewhere.
Lucky duck, I could not find flare, so she will be a little. I think she'll be a little bit better off than I am. Come, Dark King, and yeah, no, I feel like I got super lucky with Pazuzu because he not only was he made of paper mache, but he gave exit at the end. So that was just like, I'm taking a gamble here going to P Tower second, but I feel like bang for your buck chest wise, it's going to be one of the most packed places, and hopefully I'll find a wizard spell. But I ended up finding the best spell in the game instead.
Yeah, that saved a lot of time. Yeah. Dark King having both Doom and Petrify, that was, that actually, even if it doesn't do a lot of damage, that can wipe your party, but you were lucky not to get any.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple close calls there. I was like, no, this is how it ends. Especially if Phoebe got petrified, I was like, oh my god, he's got Doom Dance. What if he uses Doom Dance? Please don't.
Oh, and RPG Chick has now also made it to Dark King. And she'll be happy to see Doom Dance and Petrify as well.
Come on, chat. Let's do this. Let's give her some. Let's give her some love. Let's show her some hype. She can do this. He's at the same level threshold I am, and arguably a better player, consistently wise.
Yeah, I think RPG Chick also does vanilla game speedruns.
Yes, she does. She ran 100%. I don't know if she still does. But yeah, no, she knows the hundo route, and so when she was telling me when she first came over to start playing the randomizer and learn the randomizer, having to route Fireberg was throwing her off quite a bit, because you know in the 100% they skip Fireberg entirely. So.
Oh, because they use the Mobius crest. You get the item from the guy hiding in his basement.
I believe so.
That makes sense.
This first phase here is also a little dubious. It is the first and second phase go by quickly, so you think this is going to be a paper king, and for some reason he's got it all on the back end. He's extra chonky on the backside. So
he's got a surprise in store for you.
Mm-hmm.
So X10 is still looking for his Dragon Claw. Do you remember where you picked that up?
Phoebe handed it to me. I was contemplating where to go next, and I was like, hey, all right. It's like, all right, I have Charm Claw, but I don't have Dragon Claw. So even if I could get early Phoebe 2, which I was excited to have. I had Sun Coin at that point. I was like, oh man, I could get early Phoebe 2, but then I'd have to run all over the world trying to figure out where I'm going. And I was like, well, I'll at least unlock Phoebe 2 so we know. And yeah, at that point, she just kind of handed me Dragon Claw. I was like, okay, well, there we go. We're going to Pazuzu Tower.
Yeah, that was it. It took Adam and I a bit to realize that if you beat all the 4 crystals, you get the Sky Coin for free. And we're like, well, why is Happy skipping this or that? And all this time we're like, oh wait, he's actually in go mode.
Oh yeah, save the crystals is weird because it's like it doesn't matter where you finish, as long as you defeat all 4 bosses, that Sky Crystal is yours. So what I like to do, and RPG Chick just finished. GG's. We were busy talking.
GG.
Yeah, she made short work of him. Having white cost me a few minutes there, and it looks like she had a little bit of an easier time than I did. So RNG was on her favor in that regard, and not a bad spread by any means. So let's see if we can get her in here for post interview.
So Meteor is windy as well.
Indeed, yeah, the Windy vendor. And I see RPG Chick in the chat says her mic isn't hooked up right now, but her heart also skipped a beat when she saw Doom Dance on Dark King on phase 3 and 4.
Absolutely.
I will take Spider Kids and Mega White and Mega Flare over instant kills any day of the week, because I feel like it's like 75% chance it just KOs my party member, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it's the KO. I'll mitigate damage all day long. Don't instant kill me, please. That's so mean.
I mean, we do need to find a use for Tristan too, somehow.
Man, don't make me do that. That's so mean. So, speaking of mean things you can do, while X10 winds up here, I did want to mention the incentives in the VOD really quick. So, for the submission, our incentives will be save Norma. So, chat can donate to save Norma from Pazuzu's Tower. We'll send her on back home like I did in my run. The next incentive will be shrug percent. So for that percentage, For that incentive, we will thank you very much, RPG Chick. GG's to you as well. We will be forced to talk to the old man on the cloud every time we see him, and as you know, every time you talk to that old man, Ben gives his iconic shrug. So that will be another incentive, and then the last incentive will be bid war between which partner we take to the final boss fight: Kaylee 2, Phoebe 2, or Ruben 2. No Tristan 2 though. We're not that mean to ourselves.
Oh, come on. You like a challenge.
The RPG Chick is the only person I know of that has done Tristram 2 Dark King. And even I hear tell it was a terrible, terrible experience. I've taken him myself, but that's when I was testing the self-destruct seed stuff. So the Dark King really wasn't much of an issue. We looked at him, he blew himself up, we left. All was a good time was had.
I remember that was hilarious.
So that is looking good. But yeah, no, I want to go ahead and take this time to thank the GDQ staff for considering our race. This is the VOD submission here. While we go ahead and wrap up here, give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of X10.
Yeah, it seems like X10 is being sidetracked by Kaylee. Whereas he actually needs to go to Phoebe 2 then. He'll ratchet up some more levels, so maybe he'll have an easier time with Dark King. But yeah, X10 is missing the Dragon Claw. That's the last thing he needs. And once he gets it, he still needs to do Pazuzu's Tower. So he's probably scratching his hat right now, like, oh, hey, where do I need to go?
Yep, it looks like X10 is going to go ahead and forfeit here, which is okay. He got a little stuck, and that happens from time to time. So, again, I want to go ahead and thank all the chat. Thank you for watching this. This will be our VOD submission for Summer Games Done Quick 2023. Oipo, thank you so much for running commentary. Always a pleasure to have you on the microphone, and thanks again for doing this such short notice. And ADR, shout outs for getting on the technical stuff set up on the back end so we could even record this VOD. So yeah, Oipo, if you'd like to take us out.
Yeah, no, and thanks so much for tracking, Adam. It's very difficult to track 3 people at once. So it's been great hosting this. GG again to all the runners, including X10. Valiant attempt, but Rando was being the Rando today, and I hope to see you all in the Discord at ffnqrando.net. Have a good one.